Hey guys and welcome back to the channel, and today I'm bringing a review on the Smashing Machine, so let's begin with this video. This is the film, or kind of biopic I guess you can say, of the life of Mark Kerr, who is a real UFC, legend I guess you could call him, and a real life champion. He's very famous in the UFC world, and basically this film gets The Rock to portray him, and as it says on the poster of the film, the unforgettable true story of a UFC legend. I'm not actually that big into UFC, like I like martial arts, but the UFC for me I've never really had an interest in, so yeah, knowing basically next to nothing about UFC and going into this film, I would just again here just purely to watch it as a film to be enjoyed as. Kind of like F1 earlier this year, I kind of didn't really know much about F1, but F1 was fantastic, and it was basically the same for this. I was hoping going into this I would just enjoy it, and luckily I did. This was a really good film, and also gave me a bit more knowledge of UFC, I guess you could say, so that's pretty good. Mark Kerr as well is a professional wrestler, I'm pretty sure, and the fact that he kind of transitioned a bit to MMA, sorry. It showed how effective he was at both. Actually, he did pretty well, I'm pretty sure, in MMA as well. But yeah, I liked Dwayne Johnson's performance as Matt Kerr in the film. That was one of the key highlights, of course, and the makeup and the transformation was really effective, I guess, in a way. It kind of made him look a bit like Matt. The whole goal was to make him look like Matt Kerr, but throughout the entire film, actually, I could not stop thinking about Dwayne Johnson. Like, I had to keep reminding myself that is really Dwayne Johnson underneath there, and that's how kind of good the practical effects were. So Dwayne Johnson in the main role was Mark Kerr is done really well, and he does a good portrayal of the real life person. In my opinion, I think he did a really good job, and his his emotional kind of side and also the fighting kind of side blends together really well. This film actually does have quite a lot of emotional weight to it. It adds up alongside that, fighting and the fame side of things as well. Same with Emily Blunt as his girlfriend Dawn. She's also a really good actress in the role. They both together make a really good, visual and give a good representation of the two, and kind of what it could have been like. It kind of gives us an actually pretty big idea of what it must have been like when they were actually together in life. It's probably kind of close enough to what happened. You can see that Mark has a lot of struggles, and underneath all that fame, it looks like he's a pretty much perfect happy guy. He's happy with his fame and he's winning all the things, but behind those closed curtains, then it is very complicated for him. He's struggling with his girlfriend. He's got a bad relationship kind of at times. He's taken steroids and drugs. That was actually represented really well in this film. I thought the film did a brilliant job of doing a visual presentation of drugs, and his struggles and his just basically obstacles. Like he faces many and he just tries to get by through all of them. I liked his determination and resilience and things. Just in general throughout the film, like, just never really saying no or giving up. He just kept on doing stuff, because he believed he could do it, and he did. He kind of did get there. And I wasn't expecting him to lose his final fight in the film. Like, I expected him to progress to the final, and then that final fight be that, climatic end to the film. But no, the film was different and basically had him lose, and that's where it ends for fights in the film for him. He kind of doesn't fight again. That's unique and interesting, actually. I kind of like that because that kind of brings a sense of realism to it. And speaking about the fights, actually, I really did enjoy the fight scenes in the film, like in the ring. They were entertaining. I really did enjoy them, and it was a bit of fun just seeing him wrestle mixed with other martial arts like jiu-jitsu in the ring. Apart from Dwayne Johnson, though, I think Emily Blunt was also a good standout as well. She was really good at portraying Dawn, and like Mark, or Dwayne, sorry, she was also good in the emotional sense as well. She actually did really convincing acting in terms of when it came to the emotional scenes, and that kind of goes to show kind of how good, I guess, Emily Blunt is. She's a great actress in my opinion, and she just did a really good portrayal in this film. What I also enjoyed about the film was its realism. Pretty much for most of the time, it seems pretty realistic. It kind of stays close to the ground. It doesn't go anywhere too, I guess, silly, but it can actually stick close to the ground. And in terms of when it does that, it's great because it actually works really well. Its whole purpose is to serve as a biopic, and it does that really well with its kind of staying closer to reality than going off with the, just going off with the silly stuff. But when it comes to sort of realistic stuff, it's really good at doing that because, yeah, as I said, it's realistic for pretty much most of the time. Like, there weren't any. I don't think there was actually much times in this film where I felt like it was getting a bit too carried away and it was more on the unrealistic side of things compared to the realistic side of things. Another real life UFC fighter that was portrayed by an actor in this film was Mark Coleman, and yeah, I actually really enjoyed his character as well. It was just nice seeing the chemistry and bond, like the strong friendship between the two Marks. For negatives, the only ones I can really think of for this film are just the pacing issues. The film for me felt a bit slow in moments, and for like when you compare it to other acts, like for example, the first act was pretty good. It was quite good at its pacing and it flowed pretty well, pretty smoothly. And then from the second to maybe third, early half of the third act, it gets better, still pretty good. But then the third act a wee bit falls apart with, the pacing between his fights, and then he's back suddenly in his home. I get how the film isn't all set in one time period. It's set in different years because it tells the story of his life, right? But yeah, it cuts from maybe a fight in Japan to his home in like 2000s all of a sudden. I really wish they gave us more closure to a certain scene maybe. Then it would have been much better. But the pacing could have been fixed, and that is that's one of the few negatives I have with this film. But yeah, the Smashing Machine provided a lot of good entertainment. I really enjoyed Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt's performance. It really does seem like a film that just stretched out itself for The Rock, so he could showcase more of his serious side of acting or skills. It gave him an opportunity to show his other side of acting. Is just more to him than just big strong guy in action films. This was a kind of chance to let him shine and give him a chance to show that he could portray a real life person in a biopic and show the people that you can actually act in a different way. It's a different side of The Rock, definitely, and one that I'm not used to seeing. But I really enjoyed his performance in this film. I thought he was great, and it definitely does just prove that he can act in this sort of manner compared to his usual kind of tone or style he usually acts in. I would have to give The Smashing Machine a solid 4 out of 5 stars. It is a really good movie and an 8 out of 10 basically equivalent to, so in that 5-star range. So yeah, I really did enjoy it, as I said. It's a good biopic. My first A24 film as well. I've never watched, believe it or not, an A24 film. This was my first one today. And it was good. It might actually convince me to check out a couple more A24 films in the future, perhaps, possibly. Who knows, but maybe. It was good though. I've never really thought too much of A24. I know their films are meant to be actually pretty decent and good by many, or at least many movie critics and fans like me. So again, this kind of made me think about A24 a bit more and consider possibly checking a couple more from them in the future. But anyway, yeah. The Smashing Machine was a really good film, and I'm happy I went to see it in the cinemas. It was a good experience. So yeah, thank you for watching this review, guys. If you did enjoy it, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to. Comment down below what you think of this film, if you've seen it or not, or if you do want to watch it. And yeah, that is it for this review. Until the next one, bye bye.